Thank you, Dan, for that introduction. Can everyone hear me okay? Is this, yep, awesome. Well, good afternoon and welcome to ChatOPS for Dummies. Firstly, a bit about me. My name's Campbell, as Dan just mentioned. I work for Little Engine. We're a web dev agency, a little boutique agency, but we focus on Drupal. I've been working with Drupal now, as Dan mentioned, for about 2 years. I'm a site builder, bit of a content modeler, and a junior back-end developer. Something that I developed while working with Little Engine is what I'm sharing with you today. Something that's made our lives just a little bit easier. So what is it that I've developed? It's an integration between Drupal and Slack, which essentially sends a notification from Drupal to Slack every time a web form submission is made. For those that don't know what Slack is, Slack's a virtual office. It's a place for colleagues to meet and chat, discuss. You can private message, and it's pretty essential for agencies like ours where we're all spread around the globe. One of the great features of Slack is its abundance of apps that we can use, but sadly there's no apps for Drupal, which leads me to my next question of why? Well, we love Slack, we hate emails, and the web form module sends us an email every time a submission is made, which is great if you receive email notifications, which we don't. So we would love it if the web form module could send us a Slack notification, because we receive Slack notifications on our laptop and on our phone, and it's just very handy. And Slack's already sending us notifications from other applications we use, such as Jira, Trello, Twitter. We even sometimes receive our email notifications in Slack. So how can we create this integration? Firstly, there is a module on Drupal.org called the Slack module. So there's no app in the Slack marketplace for Drupal, but in Drupal.org there is a Slack module. This module has an API which connects Drupal with Slack. So it pretty much does a lot of the notification stuff for us. But then we can build on that to create our own unique module. The second step is to create an incoming webhook in Slack. This is pretty simple to do. You just need to know where to go, but we'll get to that shortly. And the third step is to configure our requirements, configure our own custom notifications. There's two ways to do this. We can either use the rules module, which works really well with the Slack module, or we can create a custom module for a more custom notification. So firstly, let's look at installing and enabling the Slack module. This is the configuration page after you install the module. Pretty simply, it asks you to put in your webhook URL, channel of where you'd like the notification to go, username of the bot, and you can also set an emoji or image to come through as the avatar. Our second step is creating an incoming webhook in Slack. So a webhook allows us to send data from one application to another, like a real-time notification. And in Slack, if you visit this page, you can click the Add Configuration page, and then it looks pretty much the same as that Drupal configuration page for Slack. You just follow step by step to create your own webhook. At the end of it, it'll spit out a URL for you, which you then take back and put onto that configuration page in Drupal. The third step is to configure custom notifications. So like I said, we've got two options here. We can either use the rules module or we can create a custom module. When we're using the rules module, firstly download and install the rules module. It's still in alpha, so probably not the best to use on a live site. That's for Drupal 8. Then you add a reaction rule. If you've never used rules before, you start off by adding a reaction rule. So when something happens, the rules module will do something for you. In our case, when a web form submission is made, we want the rules module to do something for us, which is the third step, the action. When you go into the actions section in rules, you can select send a message to Slack. And then you get to specify the message, channel, and username. This is what the action page looks like in rules. So we've got our value here, which is a message. We've got a channel, and we've got a username. This is great, but it's not very custom. We can only say one message for every web form submission that's made. So we still then have to go onto the website to look at the results. And this is an example of the output in Slack. Which, like I said, that's great, but if we want a more custom output, we need to do a custom module. To create a custom module for this, we need to first create our module, create a web form handler in the module, and then configure the web form handler to our requirements. I have put a snippet up here of my handler, but to save you having to read through all of that, all the code from my module is available on the Little Engine website. For the custom module output, we're going to do a bit of a live demo. I've got my assistant down the front here, Cy Hobbs. Web form, the get in touch, yeah.
Wait a second, I'm not a robot. Wait a second, I'm just going to choose all the storefronts, just one sec. Okay. Did that happen?
Hey. So in my custom module, the output not only says that we've got a new web form submission.
Oh, that was me twice.
Oh, here we go. We've got another one too. So it says who's submitted the web form, which web form they've submitted it to, and a link where we can click and go and view the message. So we've got, hi Campbell, can I use this form to troll you? Yes, clearly you can. We could also put the message output into Slack as well if we wanted to, just for our requirements we didn't need to. So back to this. Where else can I apply this? So we didn't just stop at web forms. We also created one for article comments and also for node creation. So every time a node's published, we all get a notification saying that, hey, one of our team members has published a new article. So then we can go and look at it. But Cy is also going to be lovely and post a comment on an article for us.
Did it?
You did it?
Yeah. Did it work?
No.
It's the caption thing.
There we go. A new comment has been posted to Little Engine. So we get the page where it is, the author, a link to reply, review, and delete, and the comment itself. So
Which is what all of our
here we go.
comments are. We've
So-
never had a comment.
we've got a spam comment here. So to clear this up, let's just go and delete that. We can go on here and just get rid of it, and it's gone. Sorry, Cy. So I got through my talk really quickly, but now we've got time for questions.
plan to expand the module? Sorry. I thanks for the talk, and I plan to expand the module, make it more flexible for Drupal 8 realities, but there is no rules, and just like a platform extension, something like that.
So the outputs you just saw in Slack doesn't use rules at all. The Slack module itself uses rules, or could use rules, but we don't use rules on our website. Yeah.
Are you going to release the module?
Are we going to release the module? Well, I've got the code up there to be able to do it yourself. Whether we'll release it or not.
Do it.
So if you do want this module for your own company, yeah, on the Little Engine website, I've got all the code posted up there.